Hi guys, my name is Gabby. If it's your first time here at my channel, thank you for stopping by. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much and welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about expediting your immigrant visa case when it is at the National Visa Center, otherwise known as NVC. The immigration process, the journey itself, can take a very long time. It's frustrating for many of us who are going through this process. It definitely was for my family and I as we painfully navigated the system. So understanding how to properly expedite your case at the National Visa Center is very important. Before we jump in though, I do want to mention that I have a separate video on how to expedite if you are currently at the first stage with USCIS. I will attach that video in the cards above and the description box below if you're interested. Okay, but for now, let's get started talking about how to expedite when you're at the NVC stage. So once your I-130 petition has been approved at USCIS, then USCIS forwards your case to the National Visa Center. And the National Visa Center's job is to make sure you have everything you need in order to sit for your visa interview. They collect your completed forms, collect fees, and civil documents that are needed prior to your interview. Typically, this stage of the process can be as short as a few months, but lately it's been taking much longer, as much as over a year or more for some individuals. So expediting your case at this stage with NVC is something many applicants consider doing. But when should you consider expediting your case? Well, you can request an expedite with NVC once USCIS has approved your I-130 petition and forwarded it to NVC. But it's also very important to know that a visa must be available to you before you can expedite. Now, for those of you who are considered immediate relatives of a U.S. citizen, visas are always available to you, so this does not apply and you can move forward with your request for your expedite. However, for all others who are not immediate relatives, such as individuals who fall under the family preference categories, you will need to make sure your priority date is current, meaning a visa is available to you before requesting an expedite. Also, you want to make sure all your documents and forms such as the DS-260 and your fees have been submitted with NVC. And outside of ensuring these things are in order, the next most important factor to consider is, does your situation meet the requirements for an expedited visa case? So some valid reasons for expediting a case are a severe medical emergency, an urgent humanitarian reason, you are under financial hardship, perhaps your child who is the beneficiary is about to age out, maybe there are other emergency health related conditions, or perhaps your spouse is experiencing a high-risk pregnancy or is close to giving birth. Now, when we speak about urgent humanitarian reasons, USCIS considers this to be things such as needing to receive medical treatment in the USA, having to provide care for a sick or loved one who is in the USA. Perhaps you may need to attend a funeral of a loved one or settle the affairs of a deceased loved one in the United States. Or another definition is that the beneficiary is experiencing life-threatening harm abroad and needs to come to the U.S. for his or her physical protection. So to initiate an expedite request with NVC requires a few simple steps. First, you need to write a detailed letter stating your reason for requesting an expedite. And most importantly, you will need to include valid evidence or documentation that supports the legitimacy of your reasoning. Say, for instance, your reason is due to a medical emergency, you will need to include a letter from your doctor stating your condition, basically your doctor co-signing and validating your need for this expedite due to your medical condition. Then you will simply email your letter along with your evidence to NVC at nvcexpedite@state.gov. The email should be on your screen below as well as in the description box below. Please make sure to include your case number or receipt number in the subject line of your email. Also include the beneficiary and or petitioner's name, date of birth, and their invoice number as well in the body of the email. Keep in mind you can only request an expedite to NVC via email as the phone lines are no longer active. After you submit your expedite request, it typically takes NVC a few weeks up to a month to respond to your request. If your request is approved without conditions, it will be sent directly to the U.S. consulate or embassy to schedule your visa interview. But if there are conditions attached to your approval, you will need to make sure to fulfill the requirements that they are asking of you. It may be to simply pay fees or complete forms with NVC before they can forward your case to the embassy. Also, keep in mind as you are writing your letter that it is a formal letter, that you should be respectful and detailed in your reasoning for the request. Most importantly, please do not forget to include evidence that solidifies your reasoning to why your visa case should be granted an expedite. I know there are some who question if pregnancy is a valid reason for an expedite request. Some people say yes it is, while others say no it's not. However, I believe it's worth a try because you have nothing to lose. Let's say your expedite request is denied, then you simply remain in queue or you're placed in line awaiting for the processing of your visa. Furthermore, you can submit multiple requests. Say you're denied, but you believe you have additional evidence that can support your case, you can then resubmit again and possibly get approved on the second attempt. Each request is its own separate request. NVC does not go back to look at your past requests, so you are not flagged for making multiple requests. Even if you may feel your case isn't as strong as it could be, it does not hurt for you to try. I just suggest that you include any documents that will support you, such as a doctor's note if it's a medical treatment, for your reasoning in your letter. So yes, these expedite requests are at the discretion of USCIS, but again, you should at least try if you fall within the requirements, because it does not hurt you by simply trying, okay? So I hope this information I provided has been helpful. If you watch my previous video on how to submit an expedite request at the USCIS stage, you may have noticed that the requirements or reasons to be able to submit an expedite request are the same with both agencies. The major difference, though, is to whom you're submitting the request. So guys, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please give me a like if you found this useful. Doing so allows YouTube to share it with more people like you. You can also share with your family, friends, and others that you know that may find this information helpful as well. And finally, please don't forget to click the red subscribe button before you leave if you haven't done so already. I love to have you here. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.